Aloha Jivas, welcome to our reading of Bhagavad Gita as it is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. We are reading chapter 3, Karma Yoga, and we are on text 27. Prakritehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Purport: two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and the other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. The person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently, and that is the symptom of his nescience. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature, under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesh, or the master of the senses of the material body, for due to his long misuse of the senses in sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna. Wanted to point out that this purport acknowledges both the gross body and the subtle body. Gross meaning that it's denser, a dense matter. And then we also have the subtle body. So both of those are of material nature, material creation, temporary, and different from the soul. So we think of like spirit and energy and chakras, and those are still material energy. We have, just like when your physical body is like either fully energized and ready to go, or it's just like tired and you're moving slowly, hard to get out of bed maybe, right? So like you feel like that vitality, and that is your energy body, the subtle body in relation also to the physical body. So when I work with people at the energy, at the level of the subtle body, I can sense the energies of each of the chakras, where the energies are not so strong, or maybe they are clear and vibrant. And the energy work also that I do to help to balance the energy in the chakras, this is still all material. So we know that like in the material world everything is temporary and everything is dynamic and changing, and so that's just the nature of like sometimes you might have your chakras all in balance, you're feeling great, or sometimes it's not. It just depends. We are kind of victims of circumstance, and so yeah, it's always changing. But the soul that is eternal is even more subtle than the energy body and is eternal. Okay, so, and well, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. That's the nature of our soul. Text 28. Tatvavit tu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoha guna gunashu vartanta iti matvana sajate. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Purport. The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and that his position should not be in the material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of the Supreme, who is eternal, bliss, and knowledge, and he realizes that somehow or other he is entrapped in the material conception of life. In his pure state of existence, he is meant to dovetail his activities in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He therefore engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of the material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions, which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Tatvavit, for he knows also his own factual position in relationship with the Supreme. Okay, so okay, so that line, which he considers all kinds of material reactions, which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. So someone in Krishna consciousness is remembering that, quote unquote, it's all good, it's all God, and so like even the challenges we encounter, the suffering we experience is the mercy of God. And to the extent that it is reactions of our own actions from some point in our past, so that having to experience that karmic reaction clears that karma so that we become purified. So in that way, it is the mercy of God acting through the laws of nature, because that is the natural law, that the law of karma. Alrighty, so I think I'll end there. I hope you all are having an awesome day, and I thank you once again for joining me here on Instagram. And please like the video or leave a comment, let me know you're listening. You've got my love, and so I'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.